I talk to you, I literally can't stop looking at your eyelid tattoos. What does it say?
It says bad bitch.
I mean, bad bitch is a pretty cool tattoo now, but when you're an old lady and you have that, you're gonna be even badder of a bitch. Hey everybody, I'm Ryan Ashley. Welcome back to No More Ink, the ultimate deep dive into the contestants of Inkmaster, who also happen to be some of the best artists in the game. Today, I am joined by Sydney Dyer. Hi, baby.
Hi.
How are you?
Great, how are you?
Good, really good. I have a lot to talk to you about. Obviously, in the competition, the judges don't get to hang out with you guys, so we have like major FOMO the entire time.
I know.
Because even though you're competitors and you're head-to-head in this crazy battle, y'all look like you have quite amount of fun as well.
That was the best.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
It's a wild experience.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild. And like being on the other side of it too, I can feel exactly what you just said. Like you can feel like the FOMO tension.
Yes.
You know, like I said, the what are you guys doing later? Like, hi, how was your day? I love your hair. Oh, I'm not allowed to talk. It's like, yeah, it's like putting a shiny object in front of something and just taking it away.
I know.
Yeah.
So how long have you been tattooing for?
I've been tattooing for 10 years.
10 years?
So yeah, a third of my life, which is crazy to think about.
How old are you?
I always have to think about this one. I'm 33. Even though I act 16, I am 33.
Where are you from originally?
From Canada.
Canada?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, Canada,
all the way up
hey?
there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Canada
all the way
A.
up there.
Yeah.
How did you get into tattooing? You have like a really specific style about the way you tattoo and your artwork. I know you call it girly vintage style. Did that start from the beginning of your tattoo career, or did you get in it some other way and then your style sort of transformed into what it is today?
Interestingly enough, I did start like that from the beginning, which is weird because I feel like after getting into my apprenticeship, the non-conventional, you know, tough boy way or whatever, I came out directly from the gates with this style and I was demonized instantly. It was, no one will like the style, no one will get this. Mm-hmm. No one wants gems, girly ribbons, and I'm sure you know, so.
Nobody.
No one will ever will get that.
Want this.
Yes, so from the beginning, I just remember hearing, switch your style, you know, you should draw more traditional, more basic, like why don't you do a panther head? And I'd be like, well, how about I do a panther head with gems? Like from the very beginning, my style has been the exact same and it's just gotten more detailed, more refined, more improved. But yeah, when I like flip back into the old portfolio book and I see like, you know, my first days, weeks of tattooing, like it was literally all the same, just a dumbed down version of what I do now, which is crazy to think about.
It's crazy. I've talked to so many artists that speak about their mentors trying to break their artistic vision down enough to fit into this perceived box, right?
Yeah.
That we're all supposed to fit in. When I hear stuff like your mentor is telling you like, nobody's gonna want this stuff. And it's like, what about all of the ladies that love like,
half the population out there.
What about half of the world? The other half of the world that's not being accounted for, you know? Who are the artists for those people?
Exactly.
You know, it's crazy.
I mean, I carry the same passion I have for the style of tattoos that I do into like antiquing and how I dress myself and how I dress my dogs and how I do everything in life. Like I'm so pigeonholed within a style because I'm so passionate about it. So it's so weird to me because like, wouldn't you want to get tattooed by somebody that lives and breathes a certain style because they're the best at it, right?
Yeah.
It's so weird to be like, well, cool style and that might be what some people want, but no, draw like this instead. It's like, well, why not?
It's your aesthetic, right? I mean, think about clothing, right? Because tattoos are kind of like a permanent outfit that you wear forever, right?
Yep.
There's like active wear, like sports clothing, and then there's like couture runway stuff. And everyone's gonna choose something different,
Absolutely.
right? Everyone has a different taste level, a different aesthetic.
Yep.
So you mentioned you had sort of a old school type of apprenticeship. How did all of that start? How did you get into it?
I can't remember exactly when. I knew I must have been like a small kid, and you can relate to this as a girl. When we grow up and people ask us what we want to be when we're little tiny girls, we say, I want to be a veterinarian or a marine biologist, right? So when I got older and decided there are more careers than that, it was, oh, I think I want to be a tattoo artist. And I think I must have been like just a kid on the street and seen artwork on people and thought, oh, like, hey mom, that's really cool. Is that something I could do one day? So I can't pinpoint where exactly it came from, but I just know that I was really tiny, too tiny to remember, and I just always wanted to do it.
What did you do? You approached shops with your portfolio?
Yeah, I did it all. So I did the groundwork, the stuff that people don't do anymore. You know, put the hard work in is something that I'll always be like fundamentally so proud of myself that I did. From the gates when I could take my portfolio around, go, you know, knock on a door, these big biker shops with all these burly men and just like have the courage to kind of walk in there and be like, here's my portfolio, get laughed at, get shamed out of there, like the whole 9 yards. Like I've spent nights crying myself to sleep because of what I've heard. I've had, you know, multiple men, especially back in the day, make fun of me, say you'll never amount to anything, you'll never get an apprenticeship. I remember dating this guy who worked at a shop, and I remember feeling brave enough to tell him, like, would I be able to speak to like one of the artists there? I want some feedback on this. And he just laughed in my face and I was like, oh, you'll never work with these guys. These are like way out of your zone. And then years later, I ended up working at that shop. I was the first female hired ever in history at this big biker shop in Edmonton. And I remember I actually got an apology from him and he was like, wow, I'm really like proud of you. I did not see that coming, so.
Well, yeah, most people would be like, honestly, guys,
yeah,
and like boycott them for life. But I think going back in and being the first one to, you know, respectfully earn your spot there, it's an even bigger statement.
Yeah.
Right? I love your aesthetic personally. It's timeless and classic in such a beautiful feminine Art Nouveau type of way. Day one, from that first challenge where you guys got to do anything you wanted to do.
Yeah.
I saw your design and was like, holy sh**. I love art and tattoos, and I appreciate so many different styles and types, but it's rare that I see someone with such a specific aesthetic that speaks to my heart personally. It's not all the time I see a tattoo that I'm like, holy sh**, wish that was on me. So I personally want to check out way more of your tattoos. I know you said you didn't get to show us exactly your specific vision very much through this competition. I particularly love your style. So let's go through some of your favorites from your career.
This is one of my favorite ones for sure.
I love it.
It's cute.
It's like elven, like an elven dagger.
Yeah.
Right? So cool. How long does something like this take you?
Well, previous to the show, something like this, I think took me about 4.5 hours, which, and I mean, it spans her entire forearm and there's a lot of detail in there. So I do pride myself previously at how fast I am, but again, as the show changes everything about how you do everything for the rest of your life, I'm gonna be taking my time more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're reprogrammed. Like your brain can't
I can't go back.
undo the lessons you've learned,
Yeah,
right? And
I've seen the light.
Yeah.
Looking at something like this, I love it. I know that purples are very hard for a lot of people to work with. I've somehow mastered being able to put purple into the skin, so, you know, I get a lot of requests for this color palette because it's just not seen that often, I guess.
Yeah, because it's taking the hard road. I love purples in the skin. You know, sometimes as a tattooer, you go into tattoo and everything is like butter, right? You're on cruise control, everything's working out perfectly.
Yep.
And then sometimes you go into tattoo and you're like, oh my God, what's happening? Have I ever done this before?
Yep, this
you
is
know?
my first time, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a rad tattoo. I love it. The first thing I thought of when I looked at this is like something that would be on like a nightstand or a dresser, like on the Titanic.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
for sure. Yeah.
Like really elegant, timeless, fine detail, like a makeup color
Yeah,
palette.
I think so.
Right? Really
Yeah.
like a blush sort of. It's really beautiful. I love the pink touch on the tip of the leaves and how it goes back into the actual color of the lipstick with the dark flowers. It's really cool.
I just love pink so much, obviously. And again, vintage girly You can't get more vintage girly quite literally that. But I think I design a lot of my tattoos, especially looking at them on the big screen, like something that I would want myself, and I'm just so fortunate that other people like that. I just think who wouldn't want this tattoo? It's classic, it's Baroque, Victorian, it'll look good forever.
It's like all of your tattoos remind me of this like collection that would be on a Victorian makeup stand.
Yeah.
You know, what is it, like a vanity set? Like vanity set tattoos. Really cute. Super cute. This one reminds me of your transforming tattoo.
Yeah, it does,
Right?
doesn't it? Yeah, they kind of have the same face.
It's like the same breed of strawberry bird.
Yeah, almost,
Right?
yeah.
You like doing birds?
I do, and I do want to get a lot better at them, but I like all the texture that you can put in a bird. If you look there, it has like the whip shading, the dot shading, the texture of the feathers, and there's just so much detail. Not the biggest fan of birds in person. I grew up with bird siblings, and they were very annoying. I think they make beautiful tattoos.
Bird siblings?
Yeah, I was an only child, so my mom had like a bunch of cats and birds, so that she preferred over me. So I'm a little bit, I have PTSD when I look at a bird.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, she prefers animals to humans, right?
Well, I mean, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, I can't blame her really.
Yeah.
I'm there most days
Same.
as well.
I love my dog. for
Yeah,
that,
same. Yeah. So, are you ready to talk about this week's tattoo?
Sure am. Yeah, lay it on me.
We going into it?
Yep.
Sydney. This tattoo is one of my favorite layouts. Composition-wise, there's nothing better than like a good layout of a cool idea.
But it's not perfect. The planets, I don't think any of them are round. I don't see a single actual circle on the entire thing.
There's just some little line stuff going on that is not representative of you.
When these skull pics were handed out and your canvas that you ended up getting was talking about the tattoo that he wanted to get, he was talking about super fine lines, everything very, intricate and detailed. Me sitting on, the judging panel, I was thinking to myself like, man, Sydney is the only one that could probably kill this tattoo.
I was 100% bummed. I didn't view the skull pic how you did, and I wish that I could go back in time and change that. Again, you're in your head, so I got fixated on how the tattoo was less fine line and black and gray. I just pictured like almost thicker lined, like geometric, and I just don't jive with that style. Like even though, one could say maybe I could physically do that or excel at it because of my line work strengths, it's just not something that I'm passionate about or attach myself to. So I just pictured like a very like heavy, geometric, like boring, almost textbook style tattoo, and I truthfully really wasn't excited. Like I didn't say to myself, oh hey, like I can make a million lines or daggers, or I mean I did obviously put daggers in there, I just did them wrong, but I didn't think about the best possible way I could make that tattoo. I was so bummed and fixated on like what I saw, how it looking in my head, and it just wasn't something I was excited about.
Oh, that sucks.
I know.
So what do you think about this tattoo turned out right? And you could magically go back in time and just erase and like clip a new idea in. What would that look like?
I know it just happened, but I've been fixating a lot on this tattoo, what I could and could have done better. Overall, if I were to see it, especially healed, because when I look at a fresh black and gray tattoo, and I know, as you know, it looks like dog. It's very red. My canvas specifically had eczema, but besides that, it was very red. It looks very chewed up. I don't view it that way. I see it healed in my head. So
I do as well,
right,
as a black and gray artist.
Yeah,
but.
So I feel like if I were to see, that dude, like, on the beach in Vancouver sipping a beer, and I would be like, oh, like, that's a cool chess piece. I feel like it's just a cool piece of art, no matter which way you spin it. If it's something that I saw, whether knowing that I did it or not, I'd be like, that's dope. It's cool, it's different. It's not something you see all the time. But I will have to say that's about the only thing I do like about it is that it's cool. There's a million flaws that I see now, especially having gotten sent home with that. But something that really racked my mind, and I took a while to figure out why I could have bed so horribly. Like I said, it's very hard for me not to pull a straight line. I would love for there to be some game show or, you can get me intoxicated or spin me around or blindfold me, and I swear to God, I could be the one that pulls the straightest lines. But yeah, there's just something about this particular challenge. I think I was very stressed, tired, which are excuses forever. The flash challenge of the Dremeling copper, I remember looking directly at John, and a minute into it, I have very bad hand issues, which is something I didn't talk about on the show. But 10 years ago, I developed a really bad case of repetitive strain, where I woke up one morning and my whole entire tattoo arm looked like the Michelin Tire Man. It was 3 times the size, completely full of liquid. It was like just a trauma response that my arm went through. I couldn't even brush my hair or wiggle my fingers. I had to take 3 months off of tattooing. My arm was unusable.
Oh my God.
So ever since that day, I do everything in the book. Like I see every sort from anyone from like, crazy witch doctors to chiropractors to you name it. I've had every test done on my hand and my arms to figure out why that was so bad and what I can do to help my career and be able to stay in it as long as possible.
Yeah.
So just for how sensitive I am specifically in my tattoo hand, I remember 2 minutes into the Dremeling Flash Challenge, I was just thinking like, we're gonna have to tattoo soon, which we will. This is not gonna help me. My hand was numb all night, it was shaking all night. I kept going up to all the other competitors being like, do you guys feel this? And they're like, no, I feel fine. So I think because I couldn't put my finger on why my lines weren't as good as they should have been. I know when everyone was critiquing me, in my head I'm like, well, I know how to pull a line. It's like I would get up and walk over there. Like your mind just subconsciously does one foot after the other. So when I was thinking about my lines in my head, they weren't as bad. I thought I was killing it because I know how to tattoo lines. I do that all day, every day, and they're so straight. The afterthought was, you know what, I think it was just a full day of Dremeling.
In terms of playing the actual game, we don't get to know all of the ins and the outs of what's actually going on while you guys are conspiring. We're really separate, and we try to keep ourselves really separate to make sure that the way we're judging is legitimate and it's true to just that tattoo that day. So even though I love drama, I'm not able to be a part of it. So I'm now learning about these strategies and alliances that all of you guys had going on.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the alliance that you had during this competition and what part that played in your overall strategy.
I'm so grateful looking back that I landed in the alliance that I did. I look at it as just who I would be friends with, I guess, or gravitate more naturally to outside the show. I'm a very genuine person, very authentic. I don't know how to not be that person. So I find it hard to connect with someone on these like false pretenses or when we don't have something there or it's very like
surface.
Fake. I'm not about that. So I naturally just bonded instantly with Bobby and John. Like, you know, I felt like I've known them for years. I felt like they're my brothers. Freddie as well. I mean, on the show, it didn't show too much like he was in an alliance, but he very much was as such a good friend of mine. Like, I called them my boys, and I just kept being like, oh, like Sadaddy and her boys. And I love them so much as people and as artists, and I just really felt like they truly had my back through the entire show. And
yeah.
Vice versa. Like, I would have done anything for them, you know? Like,
yeah,
literally anything.
And it was instant, because that happened pretty quick in the competition.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It seemed like before teams were even chosen, you guys were like, we're solid? Yeah, we're solid.
I know,
right?
yeah.
Well, since this entire competition is so much fun, I'd like to throw one more challenge at you if you're up for it.
Yeah, okay, let's do it. I'm scared.
So this little game is called Smash Challenge.
Okay.
We are going to show you a couple of different tattoos that have been done by artists on previous seasons.
Okay.
Each one of these tattoos is a mashup of multiple styles.
Okay.
So when you look at each photo, your job is to try and guess which styles came together to create this image.
All right. Okay, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so new school.
Yep.
Because obviously, of the curves, I hate new school more than anything in the world. Black and gray, realism, of course. And then I'd say neo-trad flowers. I don't love those flowers, but I would peg them as neo-trad-y.
Okay, so the challenge was new school black and gray realism, but I totally agree with you. Those flowers aren't new school, obviously, or black and gray realism, so I guess Katie gave us 3 styles, even though the requirement was 2.
Yeah,
I guess.
I mean, but that is her style, so I think she had to throw that in somewhere, right? So
yeah, she's like, here's some new school, here's some black and gray. I'm Katie.
Yeah,
right. Just
it
stuck
works.
it in. It works. It was a cool tatty. You crushed that one.
Oh God. Okay. Well, obviously, just plain ass hardcore traditional. Well, I mean, they should have left more skin. So I guess that sure, traditional. See, now I'm getting all. I know how you feel now.
Right.
And then yeah, black and gray portrait. I mean, to me, that's not as realistic, but I can feel like the ask was probably black and gray realism.
Black and gray, and traddy tatty. Black and gray and traditional. Yep. Wow, you're good at this game.
Oh, I'm good at something, yeah.
Right? You're like, I can't just look at tattoos as tattoos anymore. I
No,
have to like pull them apart and figure out everything.
Yeah.
No one wants to see how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
You can't unsee it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we have one more. This one was done last season by Pawn, and I thought it was really cute. Joel hated this tattoo so much. He referred on season 15 how much he hated this tattoo.
Oh my God.
Joel is like, for some reason, like...
He's very passionate.
He passionately dislikes this tattoo for some reason.
Yeah.
I thought it was cute.
As the victim of Joel's passionate hate, I can relate to this scenario. Ooh. Love him, love the guy. Yeah, I find when he really hates a tattoo, he will let you know over and over again.
Yeah.
So black and gray realism, of course, and then new school once again.
Yep. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Killed it. Split right down the middle too, right?
It's a dumb ask, and he killed it. Yeah.
What does the future hold for you? What are your plans? What are your aspirations? What happens now?
I don't really plan much. I have some goals and I feel like I achieve them all. I'm a go-getter, and if I say, oh, I want to go to this crazy convention in Hawaii next week, I'm gonna make that happen. So I think I put that out there that I'm very, free-spirited and adventurous, and I'm really down for anything. Like if there's some cool opportunity and somebody out there thinks I'd be good for like their shop or convention or anything, like I just hope they know that I will catch a plane, I will be there, I want to be there, I want to do everything all at once. I want to clone myself and do 60 million things. I'm so much more driven. Like I said, I was just like trying to find like a kick in the teeth on my own, and it wasn't working, so I needed to come embarrass myself on national television. To,
Embarrass
well, or whatever,
and
you know.
do some pretty cool tattoos.
Yeah.
And meet lifelong friends.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Just trust the universe
Yeah.
and appreciate the wave that you get to ride.
Totally.
Right? Be
So-
open to anything.
Yeah.
That's when the coolest stuff happens, is when you least expect it. And then you're
Yeah.
so appreciative and so grateful for those opportunities.
Just that, like I did least expect this show. I didn't think I was gonna get selected. Not even a little bit did I think I'd be here today. So, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to me, ever. And a lot of cool things happened to me, and this is the coolest thing of my life.
I loved watching you tattoo week after week. I love your tattoos.
Thank you.
Obviously, I personally connect with the tattoos that you normally do at home more than some of them, you know, on the show,
course.
just because I really, really love your aesthetic. I actually do want to get a tattoo from you also.
Yeah.
I do want
Yeah.
something at some
course,
point would
yeah.
be great. Let's make that happen.
Yeah, full send
Definitely.
honored anytime.
Should we pinky swear on it?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. This is
Perfect.
the only one I trust.
And thank you guys for joining us today. And don't forget to subscribe to the Inkmaster YouTube channel for everything Inkmaster.